Minnesota isn't just the land of 10,000 lakes. It's a treasure trove of ancient secrets hiding in plain sight. Today, I'm revealing 11 mind-blowing mysteries from my home state that will change how you see the upper Midwest forever. Ready to uncover the unknown? Let's dig in. Number 1. The Norway Lake Axe and the Lost Runestone. The Norway Lake Axe, often called the Norway Lake Bardiche, was discovered in 1908 by Ole Skalerud, a fisherman near Norway Lake, Minnesota, about 50 miles from where the Kensington Runestone was found. Skalerud initially thought the axe was a farm tool, but museum experts in Norway identified it as a medieval Scandinavian battle axe, specifically a bardiche, dating to the 12th century. The axe is now housed at the Runestone Museum in Alexandria, Minnesota. Linked to this find is the so-called Lost Runestone of Norway Lake. This large, flat stone with runic inscriptions was first reported in 1888 by Henry Moen, who saw it during a drought when it was exposed above the waterline. The stone has reportedly been seen several times since, but its current location remains unknown, as it is usually submerged and only visible during periods of low water. These discoveries have fueled theories that Norse explorers reached deep into Minnesota centuries before Columbus. However, mainstream historians remain skeptical. Number 2. The Kensington Runestone. The Kensington Runestone, a 202-pound slab inscribed with runes and discovered in Minnesota in 1898, claims a date of 1362 and hints at Norse explorers deep in North America long before Columbus. Its authenticity remains one of America's great archaeological mysteries. 3 professionals, Minnesota State Geologist Newton Horace Winchell, Wisconsin State Geologist William O. Hotchkiss, and forensic geologist Scott Wolter, were independently hired to assess the stone. All 3 concluded the inscription was likely authentic and not a modern hoax. Winchell estimated the runes were about 500 years old based on weathering, while Hotchkiss believed they were at least 50 to 100 years old at the time of discovery. Wolter's modern analysis found weathering consistent with great age and supported the earlier findings. Adding to the intrigue, Wolter discovered a small, previously overlooked dot in the inscription. This same marking was later found on ancient runes on Gotland, Sweden, the very place named in the stone's text. The matching dot, unknown to 19th century Minnesotans, provides a mysterious link between the Kensington Runestone and authentic medieval Scandinavian inscriptions. Despite ongoing debate and skepticism from linguists, the runestone remains on display in Alexandria, Minnesota, fueling fascination with its unresolved origin and the possibility of a hidden chapter in North American history. Number 3. Viking mooring stones. Found in Minnesota. Viking mooring stones in Minnesota are large rocks with drilled holes, often found near lakes and rivers. Local tradition claims these holes were made by Norse explorers to anchor their ships, supporting the idea that Vikings traveled deep into North America. This belief gained traction after the discovery of the Kensington Runestone and similar artifacts, fueling regional pride and speculation about pre-Columbian Norse expeditions. However, archaeological investigations have shown these stones are not unique to Minnesota, nor are they found at verified Viking sites in Greenland or Newfoundland, though the legend persists in local folklore. Number 4. The Roseau Stone. The Roseau Stone is a small, smooth, oblong sedimentary rock about 1.5 inches long, discovered in 1916 or 1918 by Jake Nelson while gardening near Roseau, Minnesota. Nelson found it alongside other Native American artifacts like arrowheads and a scraping stone. The stone features ribbon-like markings around its edge, which have sparked debate about their origin. Several theories exist. Minneapolis architect John Jaeger suggested the markings resembled Northern European runes, hinting at pre-Columbian European contact. University of Minnesota professors proposed the markings were simply natural geological features. A third theory, supported by local historians, is that the stone was carved by indigenous people from the woodland culture, or even earlier, around 7,000 to 500 BCE, especially since it was found among other native artifacts. The Roseau stone changed hands several times, was lost for decades in university archives, and has recently returned to the Roseau County Museum. Its true origin remains a mystery, fueling local curiosity and ongoing debate. Number 5. Minnesota Dolmens. Minnesota dolmens are mysterious stone formations found mainly in the Boundary Waters canoe area. The most famous is the Sawbill, or Kelso River dolmen, which consists of a large boulder supported by 3 smaller stones, standing about 4 feet high and 6 feet wide. It was first brought to wider attention in the early 2000s, though locals and paddlers have noted it for decades. Similar dolmens are common in Europe and are often associated with ancient burials or markers, but the Minnesota examples are unique in the region. The origins of these dolmens are debated. Some speculate they were built by ancient peoples as astronomical markers or places of ritual, especially since the Sawbill dolmen appears to be oriented to the sunrise at the summer solstice. Others believe they are simply glacial erratics, rocks left in unusual positions by retreating glaciers thousands of years ago. There is no archaeological evidence linking them to any specific culture, and their true purpose and builders remain a mystery, fueling ongoing fascination and local legends. Number 6. Magnetic Lake. Magnetic Lake is located in Cook County, Minnesota, near the Canadian border. The lake is named for the nearby magnetic rock, a 60-foot-tall monolith made primarily of iron and magnetite. This rock is so magnetic that it can make compass needles spin, which is how both the rock and the lake got their names. The area around Magnetic Lake is geologically significant, featuring rocks that are billions of years old, including those from the Gunflint Iron Formation and the Sudbury Meteor Strike. Magnetic rock stands out due to its size, composition, and the strong magnetic field it generates. Other mysteries in the area include reports of large, squared, deliberately shaped stone blocks or cubes found near the lake and magnetic rock, which is next on the list. There are also large boulders positioned on ridges, possibly as ancient defensive features, and caches found on cliff ledges. These anomalies have fueled speculation about prehistoric human activity and even theories of ancient transoceanic contact, though mainstream science attributes the features to natural geological processes or indigenous peoples whose exact methods and purposes remain unknown. Number 7. The cubes of Arrowhead. The square stone megalithic cubes in Minnesota's Arrowhead region, especially near Arrowhead and Magnetic Lake, are a modern mystery. These large cubes, sometimes found near magnetic rock, stand out because they appear deliberately shaped with right angles and smooth faces, features not typical of known Native American stonework in the area. Some cubes also have grooves or lines that do not match local indigenous styles, and their locations near water routes have led to speculation about their original purpose. Some researchers, such as Dr. R.M. de Jonge, have proposed that the cubes are evidence of ancient Egyptians visiting North America around 1900 BCE. According to these theories, the cubes might commemorate catastrophic events like comet impacts, and their style is said to resemble Old World megalithic masonry. However, mainstream archaeology does not support these ideas. Most experts believe the cubes are either natural geological formations or were made by indigenous peoples for reasons that are not yet understood. The true origin and purpose of the cubes remain unknown, fueling both scientific curiosity and speculation about ancient contact and lost civilizations. Number 8. Minnesota Mystery Walls, Blue Mounds, and others. The Blue Mounds State Park Mystery Wall is a 1,250-foot-long stone alignment running perfectly east-west atop Blue Mound in southwestern Minnesota. Likely built by Plains Indians, the wall's precise alignment with the sunrise and sunset during the spring and fall equinoxes suggests it may have served as an ancient calendar or astronomical observatory. Some stones stand 4 to 5 feet tall, while others are hidden in prairie grass. How ancient builders achieved such exact celestial alignment remains unexplained, fueling theories about lost knowledge of astronomy and surveying. The wall was first photographed from the air in the 1930s, and since the 1970s, archaeologists have studied it, but its age and true purpose are still unknown. Theories include ceremonial use, a navigation aid, or a calendar, but no consensus exists. Its mysterious origins and sophisticated alignment make it one of Minnesota's most intriguing ancient landmarks. Other mystery walls. According to an AI search, in Minnesota's Foot Lake, Divers and fishermen have reported underwater stone alignments since the 1980s, sparking speculation about ancient builders. No definitive archaeological studies have confirmed their origin. It's possible they are remnants of glacial activity, indigenous construction, or natural formations. These submerged stories are especially intriguing because similar mysteries exist nearby. A Stonehenge-like stone circle was discovered beneath Lake Michigan in Grand Traverse Bay. To learn more about it, check out my video, Ancient Michigan Mysteries. There are also persistent rumors of a rock pyramid under Rock Lake in Wisconsin, which I'll cover in my upcoming video, Mysteries of Wisconsin. Be sure to follow me so you'll know when that video drops. The lack of scientific investigation keeps these submerged walls among the Midwest's most fascinating unresolved mysteries. Number 9. Minnesota Giants, also known as Paul Bunyan. Over the years, I've found numerous old newspaper stories about giant bones discovered in Minnesota. While many of these reports are now difficult to locate, I was able to quickly track down 8 separate accounts for this video. There's enough material here for a whole episode, so for now, here's the condensed highlight version. In 1884, a Michigan newspaper reported the discovery of a gigantic human skeleton near Sauk Rapids, Minnesota. In 1882, newspapers described the unearthing of a massive skull and giant remains among mound builder relics in the Red River Valley. In 1896, the St. Paul Globe detailed the find of a huge skeleton at Beckley Farm near Lake Coronis. In 1888, the St. Paul Pioneer Press reported that 7 unusually large skeletons were uncovered near Clearwater, Minnesota. In 1860, the Winona Republican recounted the discovery of several giant skeletons from a burial mound near Winona. The Raftsman's Journal from Pennsylvania also reported giant bones, including a 3-foot thigh bone, found somewhere in Minnesota during the 19th century. In 1891, the Connorsville Daily Examiner described giant bones found in a gravel pit outside Battle Lake, Minnesota. And in 1916, the Bemidji Daily Pioneer covered the unearthing of a large skeleton near Rainy Lake, Minnesota. Among these accounts, the Sauk Rapids skeleton stands out for its astonishing size, nearly 11 feet long and weighing over 300 pounds. Another remarkable story comes from Clearwater, where 7 skeletons, each between 7 and 8 feet tall and featuring double rows of teeth, were reportedly found in a burial mound. Despite the sensational details, none of these remains were ever scientifically verified, though it is rumored that the Smithsonian was often responsible for confiscating these bones. Today, these stories live on only in old newspaper reports. Number 10. The Minnesota Iceman. The Minnesota Iceman is a famous sideshow exhibit that appeared in the late 1960s, promoted by Frank Hansen, a former Air Force pilot. Hansen claimed the creature was found in Siberia, though other versions said it was shot in Wisconsin or smuggled from Vietnam. The Iceman was a 6-foot-tall, hairy, human-like figure encased in a block of ice, with one eye apparently shot out and an arm broken. Displayed at fairs and malls across the United States and Canada starting in 1967. The exhibit drew national attention when University of Minnesota student Terry Cullen saw it and alerted zoologists Ivan Sanderson and Bernard Heuvelmans. In December 1968, Sanderson and Heuvelmans examined the Iceman in Hansen's refrigerated trailer and initially believed it could be a real unknown hominid, possibly a Neanderthal or Bigfoot. The Smithsonian Institution and even the FBI showed interest, but when scrutiny increased, Hansen replaced the original with a latex replica. Most scientists ultimately concluded the Iceman was an elaborate hoax, likely a carnival prop. But the story persists in cryptozoology circles. The original exhibit resurfaced in 2013 and is now on display at the Museum of the Weird in Austin, Texas. The Minnesota Iceman remains a legendary curiosity, surrounded by rumors, shifting origin stories, and speculation about its true nature. Number 11. Inspiration Peak and the All-Seeing Eye. Warning: this is for entertainment purposes only. I'm sharing this because of other evidence linking the United States design to Masonic Templars, which makes the story more interesting. Though it's probably not true. Just for fun, here's the story. According to a theory online, Inspiration Peak in Minnesota is much more than just a scenic hill. The theory suggests it's actually the central landmark connected to the mysterious Kensington Runestone. The theory claims that the numbers and directions carved into the side of the runestone are not just part of a story. Instead, they are actually coded instructions. If you follow these numbers as distances and directions, they supposedly lead you straight to Inspiration Peak. From there, the idea is that you can draw lines, like spokes on a wheel, out to other locations, marking out the boundaries of a vast territory. According to this theory, the number 1362 on the stone isn't just a year, but a distance in miles, reaching key points across North America. Supporters of this theory believe the runestone was part of a secret land claim system, using Inspiration Peak as the main marker for the Knights Templars. They suggest the stone is actually a coded survey map, not just a historical record. However, as Andy White and Frederick of Digging Up Ancient Aliens point out, there are many mysteries and problems with this idea. The distances and directions don't really match up with real geography, and there's no physical evidence to support the claim. While the theory is fascinating and fun to think about, the mainstream view, summarized by Andy White and others, is that the runestone is not evidence of ancient land claims. Instead, it remains a local curiosity and an unsolved mystery from Minnesota's past. I've followed these stories for over 15 years, and I've noticed they're becoming increasingly difficult to find. My goal with this video is to help preserve this information before it disappears from the internet. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss my next video on mysteries of the Upper Midwest. If you know of a Minnesota mystery I missed, or if you have a story that should be featured, let me know in the comments. Keep camping and uncovering the mysteries of our world.